Once upon a most early time was a Neolithic man. He lived cavely in a cave.
Cavely in a cave?
And he couldn't read, and he couldn't write, and he didn't want to. And except when he was hungry, he was quite happy.
His name was Tugume Babsule. That means man who does not put his foot forward in a hurry.
His wife's name was Tishume Twindro, and that means lady who asks a very many questions. And his little girl daughter's name was Tafime Metalume, and that means small person with no manners who ought to be spanked. But I'm going to call her Taffy.
And they were all three very happy.
As soon as Taffy could run about, she went everywhere with her daddy, Tugume, and sometimes they would not come home to the cave till they were hungry.
How the first letter was written?
From Just So Stories.
My brother took
One day, Tugume went down through the beaver swamp to the Wage River to spear carpfish for dinner.
And Taffy went too.
Tugume's spear was made of wood with shark's teeth at the end, and before Tugume could catch any fish at all, he accidentally broke it clean across by jabbing it down too hard on the bottom of the river.
They were miles and miles from home, and Tugume had forgotten to bring any extra spears.
It will take me half the day to mend this.
There's your big black spear home. Let me run back to the cave and ask Moe to give it to me.
It's too far for your fat little legs. Besides, you might fall into the beaver swamp and be drowned. Bum, bum, bum. We must make the best of a bad job.
I say, Daddy, it's an awful nuisance that you and I don't know how to write, isn't it? If we did, we could send a message for the new spear.
Taffy, how often have I told you not to use slang? Awful isn't a pretty word.
Just then, a stranger man came along the river, but he was from a far tribe, the Tuaras, and he did not understand one word of Tugume's language.
He stood on the bank and smiled at Taffy because he had a little girl daughter of his own at home.
Come here. Do you know where my mommy lives?
This is a very wonderful child. She stamps her foot at me and makes faces. She must be the daughter of that noble chief who is so great that he won't pay any attention to me.
Now, I want you to go to my mommy because your legs are longer than mine, and you won't fall into the beaver swamp.
Bum, bum, bum.
And after Daddy's other spear.
This is a very, very wonderful child. She waves her arms and she shouts at me, but I do not understand a word of what she is saying. But if I do not do what she wants, I greatly fear that that haughty chief, man who turns his back on callers, will be angry.
He just a piece of bark off a birch tree and gave it to Taffy.
He did this, best beloved, to show that his heart was as white as the birch bark, and that he meant no harm.
Oh, you want my mommy's living address. Of course, I can't write, but I can draw. First, I'll draw Daddy fishing. And isn't very like him, but Mommy won't know because I've got his spear all broken. Now I'll draw the spear that he wants. It looks as if it was taking Daddy's head, but that's because the shark's tooth slipped. That's the spear I wanted to fetch. So I'll draw a picture of me, myself explaining to you. My hair didn't stand up like I've drawn, but it's easier to draw that way. Now I'll draw a picture of you. I can't make you very pretty in this picture, so you mustn't be offended. Are you offended?
There must be a big battle going to be fought somewhere, and this extraordinary child is telling me to call all the great chiefs tribe to help him. He is a great chief, or he would have noticed me.
Look, I put the thing that Daddy wants in any hand just to remind you that you're to bring it. Come along to 2 trees. Those are trees. Then you come along to a hill. That's a hill. Then you come into a beaver swamp. I've drawn all the beavers because I can't write beavers, but I've drawn their heads. Mind you mustn't fall in.
Bum, bum, bum.
Our cave is just beyond the beaver swamp. That's my mommy outside. She's the most beautifulest mommy there ever was. But she won't be offended when I've seen I've drawn her so plain. She'll be pleased with me because I can draw. Now, in case you forgot, I've drawn the spear outside. It's inside, really. I've made Mommy holding up her hands because I know she'll be so pleased to see you. Isn't it a beautiful picture and you quite understand? Or shall I explain again?
If I do not fetch this great chief's tribe to help him, he will be slain by his enemies who are coming up on all sides with spears. Now, Now I see why the great chief pretended not to notice me. I will away and get help for him from his tribe.
What have you been doing, Taffy?
It's a little arrangement, Daddy dear. You'll be surprised. Promise you'll be surprised. There's a split as the nose on this stranger man's face. He has stuffed my Tukume, all full of spears, and trying to pour taffy so her hair stands on all in. And not content with that, he brings me a hard picture of how it was done. Look, here's a man with a spear. Here's a whole pack, and here a whole pack of people.
They were Taffy's beavers, really, but they did look rather like people.
Coming up behind Tukume.
Most shocking. Before we chop the stranger man's head off, he should instantly lead us down to the river and show us where he has hidden poor Taffy.
The stranger man led them back to the bank of the Wage River.
And there they found Taffy making daisy chains, and Tugume carefully spearing small carp with his mended spear.
Well, you have been quick, but why did you bring so many people? This is my surprise, Daddy. Are you surprised?
Very. But it has ruined all my fishing for the day. Why the whole tribe is here, Taffy?
And so they were. First of all walked Teshume Twindro.
Tightly holding on to the stranger man.
Behind them was the head chief, the vice chief, the deputy, and assistant chiefs.
Hold on to the upper teeth.
Behind them was the tribe in hierarchical order, from owners of 4 caves
One for each season.
to feudal and prognacious villains.
Semi-entitled to half the bearskin of winter nights. 7 years in fire.
Can the man break his own carp spear without the whole countryside descending on him?
Where are all the fat people who speared you, my darling?
There weren't any. My only visitor this morning is that poor fellow you are trying to choke. He came with a horrid picture, a picture that showed you are all full of spears.
Perhaps I better explain that I gave him that picture.
You? Small person with no manners ought to be spanked, you? Explain!
I wanted the stranger man to fetch Daddy's beer, so I brought it. There weren't lots of spears, only one. I brought it 3 times to make sure. And those things that Mummy called bad people are my beavers. Brought Mummy at the mouth of the cave looking pleased because he's a nice stranger man.
Oh, small person with no manners ought to be spanked. You have hit upon a great invention.
I didn't intend to. I only wanted Daddy's black-handled spear.
Never mind, it is a great invention. And one day, men will call it writing. At present, it is only pictures, and as we have seen today, pictures are not always properly understood. But the time will come when we shall make letters, all 26 of them, and then we shall be able to read as well as to write, and then we shall always say exactly what we mean without any mistakes.
I shall be glad of that, because after all you brought every single other spear, you forgot my Daddy's black-handled spear.
Taffy dear, the next time that you draw a picture letter, you'd better send a man who can talk our language with it. I don't mind myself, but as you can see, it frightens the stranger.
Then they adopted the stranger man into the tribe of Tukue because he was a gentleman.
And from that day to this, and I suppose it's all Taffy's fault really, very few little girls have ever liked learning to read or write. Most of them prefer to draw pictures and play about with their daddy, just like Taffy.